morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and I have a review of a neat new drone today. This is the JJRC H190 or HY-90. Now, if you look at this drone, you'll see that, hey, this is really the Syma X8C. Okay, it's essentially the Syma X8C with all the parts, spare parts that are available for Syma X8C. So this is easily repaired. They're already out there, but with the addition of GPS. This is something that Syma should have done years ago on their own instead of letting JJRC. I guess JJRC went out and bought all the leftover Syma X8Cs that were out there and installed a GPS system. This is what Syma should have done instead of what they came out with was the Syma X8 Pro, where they redesigned the whole Syma X8, which made it all difficult to repair certain things, especially the motors. Now this one again is the Syma X8C essentially. So it uses Syma X8C style motors, which is good. Why is that good? They are brush motors. They will wear out eventually, but they are easily replaceable. You just remove these 3 screws here and pop this bottom out, and I think there's 2 screws on the top that they're screwed into the motor itself, and the motor unplugs, and you can plug in a new motor, and change this in less than 10 minutes. Change the motor on this if needed. And additionally, these motors are dirt cheap and widely available on the internet, on Amazon. Well, not Amazon, but I know eBay's probably got tons of these. So, we're talking a couple dollars for those motors. They are cheap. Also, it uses the Syma X8C battery. The essential banana plug 7.4 volt 2000 milliampere hour battery. Now, that's good and bad. These are widely available and cheap. That's the good part. The bad part is, this thing, the Syma X8, would get maximum of about 7 to 10 minutes, depending on how you flew it and how much weight it was lifting. If a bare bones Syma X8C, if you kept it in hover, it could get possibly 10 minutes of flight time. But if you add cameras to it and weight to the drone, that greatly reduces the flight time along with how you fly it. If you fly it fast and furious, that also reduces the flight time. Now, one other thing. The version that I got does not have Wi-Fi, does not have, oops, sorry about that, does not have FPV. This is the basic version. I was accidentally sent the basic version. I had requested the 5.8G, the 5 gigahertz, I'm sorry, let me say 802.11 AC Wi-Fi version of this with their FPV camera. I'm happy they actually made a mistake and sent me the base version. Why is that, folks? Because this drone was perfect when I was flying with the X8C, was perfect for carrying a GoPro camera. And you can get one of these cheap GoPro mounts, and they were designed for the Syma X8. These are also available widely on eBay and on various websites. And these just slide in the bottom here, and you can turn this into a GoPro lifter easily. And there you go, ready to go. You throw your own GoPro camera on it with GPS. That is cool in itself. That's why I'm happy that they got this, and I'm going to fly this today with my own GoPro camera. But keep in mind that there are also 5 or 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi version, which I would not recommend, unless you only want to fly about 40 meters out. There's a 5G Wi-Fi version, 802.11 AC Wi-Fi version, but again, that version is only applicable to people who have phones with 802.11 AC Wi-Fi capability. Not everybody has such a phone. So keep that in mind, folks, if you do consider going for the Wi-Fi versions of this. Now, what do you get in the box? You get the drone, you get a full spare set of props, you get prop guards. I don't recommend using these, folks. Again, I always say that if you go outdoors with these attached and you end up in a tree, these end up as Christmas tree ornament hooks, and your drone will become a Christmas tree ornament if you use prop guards outdoors, folks. Only for indoor flying, and this is the one drone that you do not want to fly indoors. It's just too big. Okay, folks, big and kind of dangerous, because this is a big, heavy drone, and these propellers spin fast enough that they will ding you. Okay. Other things you get in it, you get the instruction manuals, the instruction manual for the drone, both in English and Chinese. English is in the back. You get the Wi-Fi instruction, even though I did not get the Wi-Fi version of this. But it uses the VS GPS app, I believe. Yes, it does. So keep that in mind. It uses that particular app, the Wi-Fi version. Now, since I don't have Wi-Fi, I'm not going to get the advanced capabilities of Follow Me or Circle Me. although this does have return to home capability on command by either pressing the button on the controller, on low battery, and on loss of signal from the controller. Say you fly too far away, it should return. Now that is a big advantage. Why I had always hoped that Syma would have put a GPS system in their Syma X8, the original Syma X8. And the one thing that was lacking was being able to fly out to its maximum range, because if you flew out of range, the original Syma X8C would drop like a rock. This one will fly back home, and that's great. That's fantastic that they did that. Let's go over the controller. This is the controller that it comes with. A very well labeled controller. These particular buttons seem to be inoperative. I guess they're for the camera version, but this would be camera gimbal down, camera gimbal up. This basic version does not have a gimbal. This button here is for rates, for increasing the speed of the drone. You press it, and you can switch to beginner, intermediate, and expert by pressing that button here. It does say this is a circle me button here. We'll see if this actually does have point of interest circling without using the app, because I'm not going to be able to fly this with the app today because this is not the Wi-Fi version. But we'll see if this actually works, because this is point of interest circling. This one here is headless mode, and this you can turn the GPS off if you so desire and just want to fly altitude hold by pressing this button here. This button here is for return to home, automatic return to home by pressing that button here, and it will fly back and land itself. Again, this flies back and lands also if it's low battery, and also if it flies out of range of this controller, or if you accidentally turn off the controller. This button here is for gyro calibration. You put the drone on a flat level surface, power it up, press this button here, and that will smooth out its hover when in altitude hold mode. In GPS mode, this is kind of useless for GPS flying. This button here is very important. This is your compass calibration button. You press it here and you hold the drone and do figure 8 turns. I'll show that out in the field. That quickly conducts the compass calibration, very rapid compass calibration, and also very rapid lock on of the satellites. So I think this has GPS GLONASS system in it. And finally, emergency stop. You unlock the blades by pressing this button here, and turn off the motors by pressing this button here. So be very careful with this button. Just use this when you start the motor to unlock the blades. The motors will start up, and then you take off by giving it throttle. And on landing, just pull down this throttle and hold it down, and the motors will eventually wind down and shut down. So that's the HY-90 from JJRC, rebranded Syma X8. Syma X8C. This should be fun. Let's take it out and see how it flies. Hope you enjoy this flight. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and a beautiful day out here in the desert, a beautiful Sunday. Great day to go flying. Very gentle breeze here, about 2 knots from my right, just enough to keep me cool. What we're going to do here, folks, we're just going to go out and fly it. I just want to show you how to start it up first. And first off, the first thing you want to do is turn on your camera, your GoPro camera. Now, I got an SJ cam for today's flight. I don't own GoPros, but I got tons of SJ cams. And I like the old SJ Cam 4000. You folks remember that camera? It is a great camera. Still today, I still like it. And we're going to start recording, and I'm going to lower it. I'm going to turn the propellers. Am I seeing propellers? I think I am seeing propeller. No, I'm not. Okay. And how about these legs? I don't think I'm seeing legs either in the picture. I always like to check that, make sure. Okay, so everything looks good there, and we are recording. Now, all we need to do to start this up is turn the on-off switch like so to on. Make sure our lights are lit. Putting the drone on the ground. They rapidly flash as the gyros synchronize, and turn on the controller, and it is connected. Automatically connects once you turn it on. Okay. To do the compass calibration, all we got to do is hold this button down here, press it, and they're rapidly flashing. And remember, I said all you got to do is figure 8 turn until you hear a beep. That's it. That is the compass calibration. No more dancing, no more circling, doing circles to get a compass calibration. That was awful. I did the old compass calibration dance. Now, can we unlock the motors yet? No. See, I press the unlock button and they don't start. These will not start until you have sufficient satellites to fly. I think you also hear a beep that alerts you that you have sufficient satellites. You don't get any light warning. I'm looking at the lights and they're solid right now. But there, you heard that beep? that means we are ready to fly. We have sufficient satellites to fly. And since that locked on very rapidly, I think this has GPS GLONASS, which makes for a very rapid lock on. Now we should be able to start the motors. Let's see. Yep. Let's take to the air, give it a little throttle, and check our stability. No movement right now. I got a breeze, and it's bouncing around in the breeze, and that breeze is making it go up and down a little because it's using barometric pressure sensor. But let me come down a little and say, how do you like my shirt today, folks? Okay, so we are ready to go with this GPS bird. Let's go out and just fly over the desert, low over the desert today, because there's wildflowers. Well, they're very tiny wildflowers here, but it is wildflower season, and we'll go up a little higher too. Now this thing's supposed to have 500-meter range. I don't know about that. And it's supposed to have 10 minutes of flight time, but that's obviously not carrying a GoPro. So we're just going to go out over the desert. Now, those of you really want FPV, I know you want FPV because you think you can maintain orientation and fly just looking through the view of the camera. Maybe and maybe not. There are a lot of issues with FPV, folks. Wi-Fi lag, and sometimes the video just freezes. So it's important to know how to maneuver just by visually observing the drone. And I am good 200, 300 meters out right now. I'm going up a little higher. Let's turn and drive around the desert. Okay, we are at about 300 meters right now. Let's try that return to home and landing all by itself here, pressing the automatic return to home and landing button. And let's see how well its return to home and landing is from out there at about 300 meters. This big drone is easy to see. Easy to see. Big white drone. I wish they had the original orange though. That's even easier to see. I think I turned the drone a little there. I don't know if it's coming back sideways or what. Now, Syma, they really missed the mark here, folks. They should have took their original X8 like this and just slapped a GPS in it. I think it would have been a big seller. JJRC obviously recognized that and said, hey, Syma, do you have any of those X8s left over on your shelves? We'll buy them all. And they did what Syma should have done, just slapped the GPS into it. Another drone maker that's missing the mark that I got to say is MJX. They should do the same with the original Bugs 3. You know, the original Bugs 3, forget Wi-Fi, you know, forget 5G, forget 2.4G. Just slap a GPS in it, folks, or MJX, like JJRC obviously did with the X8. Okay, so the return to home and landing worked well. It's about less than a meter. Starting the motors again, going up again, and let's just go out and about. We're just going to fly around the desert here, showing the camera. Let's go up about, I'm going to take it up to about 100 meters. Because I just want to fly around and show you the camera. And we're about 50 meters up. So yeah, this is a great drone. I don't think it's going to give me a lot of flight time, unfortunately, but it's a fantastic drone for what it can do. I love the original Syma X8. That was a keeper, folks. Unfortunately, I did give it away eventually to one of the local schools. But the Syma X8 was a very versatile drone. I threw, you know, the GoPro style cameras on it. I put on FPV cameras. It's easy to throw an FPV on this thing. These days, you can just get a all-in-one camera, FPV, all-in-one FPV camera, throw it on here, and it makes a great drone, a great FPV drone, using 5.8 gigahertz FPV. And turning to the left here, using my orientation techniques to bring it back. Left, 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 left. Turning until its movement stops. There we go. I was going too fast. Orientation techniques. You do not need FPV to fly distant, folks. As long as you can see this drone, you should easily be able to bring it back to you. If you're pushing forward on the stick like I'm doing for forward flight, and it's moving off to the left like it was doing. All you got to do is keep turning left until the drone stops going to the left. Okay, right now it's coming back in my general direction. It's moving a little bit to the right, so all I got to do is turn right until the movement stops. And it should be coming directly toward me right now. Very easy to do. Very easy technique. And very easy to learn. I have a video on that on my channel here. Just look up drone orientation techniques on YouTube. You'll find it. Orientation tips. But a great big drone. I'm kind of glad JJRC did this. Okay, I'm going to come down lower now. Reducing throttle. I don't know how well this mount is doing. That is a cheap mount. It's $3.80 on eBay, I believe. They're widely available. Just look up Syma X8 mount, or the other one is the X16 mount. Okay, there's our, I knew it was going to be short. There's our battery. Return to home. Let's see it do it. Now, you know, you can fly this for 10 minutes without a GoPro attached. The GoPro adds significant weight to the drone. So it's going to greatly reduce the flight time. But you get this is still a drone that's capable of lifting a GoPro camera. It brings it in, I guess, to within 10 meters for the final portion of the flight. We can fly it around at 10 meters, but I'm not going to do such. I'm just going to bring it down and land it. We're going to bring it closer to the ground, actually, so I don't have to worry about it dropping from the sky. And I'll finish it out with it hovering in front of me and give you my thoughts on it. Zoom, zoom, zoom. The big X8. Now, okay, it's going to land. There we go. And let's turn off the drone. And turn off my video that I was recording by pressing that button there. Okay, that's stopped. Turning off the camera. Now let me talk about this mount again. You can get these on eBay, I think they're on Amazon, on AliExpress. They come in different versions. They all run about $3.80, and they all work for the Syma X8 and the X16, Bayangtoys X16. These were designed for. They just slide, the mounts just slide in, and you can throw any GoPro-sized camera. You should fit into this mount easily, like my SJ cam here, SJ4000. Final thoughts. Let me turn this off. Yeah, it easily lifted my GoPro, and that's what I was hoping it would do. Again, you're not going to get 10 minutes of flying lifting a GoPro. These are pretty heavy. You could get 10 minutes, I guess, without the GoPro, or a very lightweight camera on the bottom here. It flew well, flew nice and smooth. I'm hoping the video came out nice and smooth. The GPS worked well. The return to home worked well, both for on command and on low battery. I didn't take it out all the way it could have went. I guess this is supposed to go out to 500 meters, but I didn't want to do that today. I was worried about the battery. Again, the parts in this are widely available. Just look up Syma X8C parts for propellers, for batteries especially. Those two are widely available, propellers, batteries, and motors. They're out there, and they are dirt cheap. So hope you enjoyed this flight. This is Quadcopter 101, signing out with the HY-90 basic version. Again, there's other versions of this, 520p and 1080p. I like this particular version, though, with the camera, with my own camera. Quadcopter 101, signing out. Hi, Quadcopter 101 here again. Hey, if you want to get your own shout out in one of my future videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's real simple. Just go to my channel page and click on that subscribe. And also make sure to click that bell button right next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I release a brand new video immediately and give you a chance to get that first shout out. So give it a try, folks.